Hi, I'd like to share a good story that I was reminded of this morning by a friend of mine about my late son, Geoffrey. It's just a really cool, what are the odds kind of a story. Back in 1995, Geoffrey was recovering from his original bout with cancer, and he had a wish that he made through the Make-A-Wish Foundation in New Jersey, and it was to meet Shaqille O'Neal. But being Geoffrey, it wasn't merely to meet Shaq. It was that a limousine should pull up in front of his school for all the kids to see. That is Geoffrey style. And a lady should come out of the limo and come into the school to come get him and take him to meet Shaqille O'Neal. And Make-A-Wish made that happen. And this was in 1995. And I think it was at where the Nets were playing at the time. They were the New Jersey Nets. Now they're the Brooklyn Nets, and I believe that Shaq was with Orlando at the time, and so Orlando was playing the Nets locally here in New Jersey, and I was working at the time for a printing company in Secaucus, New Jersey, and that morning I was busy working. I couldn't take the time off to go with Geoffrey, nor did that come up as an idea anyway. You know, Geoffrey was doing his thing, and I think he liked the idea of not having a mom or a dad with him for this. He was kind of being the man in this situation. And at that time, Geoffrey was 13 years old. Anyway, so that morning, while I was working in my cubicle as a printing estimator, a printing salesman was on the other side of the wall of this cubicle, and I could hear him talking very excitedly with someone, but I had no idea what it was about. And so at lunchtime, I was sitting in the lunchroom talking with a friend, and I mentioned that my son was meeting Shaqille O'Neal today. And just at that moment, that salesperson on the other side of the cubicle walked into the lunchroom, heard me say that, and his eyes got like this big, and his mouth was wide open. He goes, "That's your kid?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "That's your kid meeting Shaq today?" And I said, "Well, yeah." I was wondering how he knew about it. And he said to me, "Well, I've been on the phone all morning with my client, and the person I've been speaking to, my client, is the woman who was in the limousine who came to get your son and introduced him to Shaqille O'Neal. And all morning, in between things, she's been talking to me from her cell phone, telling me about your son and how he met Shaq and what they said. And I can tell you that what your son Geoffrey said to Shaq was, 'This really is my wish come true.'" What are the odds? The odds are like hundreds of thousands to one against that happening. The guy right on the other side of the cubicle was speaking with the lady who was standing next to my son and introducing him to Shaqille O'Neal. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful coincidence. You know, it made me feel a little bit closer to being there. And then when I saw Geoffrey, I said, "Jeff, that must have been really great meeting Shaq, huh?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll bet you said something like, 'This really is my wish come true.'" He's like, "How did you know that?" I just think it's a great story. I was talking with a friend of mine who, like me, plays basketball, and he mentioned a similar story, which brought this story to mind for me. I just wanted to share this with my friends and family. What an amazing coincidence. That's just how close Geoffrey and I have always been, that we would just manage to pull in these ways of connecting and being closer. I just think it was fabulous. I hope you enjoyed that as much as me.